West came on board in January and has done an excellent job with creating positive situations for our students to be successful in the new program. So I thought tonight you could give us a 5 or 6 minute update on how things are going this year.
I'd be happy to. Some of your faces are familiar. For those who don't know me, I'm Rose West, and I've been in Alleghany County Schools for 8 years as a special education teacher at the high school, and was afforded the opportunity to make a little career move, and I couldn't resist the challenge to come up here at Turning Point and see what I could do there. I've enjoyed my time there, and I want to thank you for trusting me to approve me for that position. It's really been a blessing. I've pulled a report together. I want to share some data with you. I'm not sure what the proper protocol is. I don't have anything to like plug in and put on the screen. So would it be okay if I distribute this so that?
Yes.
Okay. It's the teacher. I try to make this as succinct as possible and easy to read. So if you have any questions about anything that's in particular pops out at you, please ask for more information. I'll be happy to provide that. The first chart is the enrollment data, first semester versus second semester. It appears to look like we served 39 students first semester and 39 students second for a total of 78, but in fact we had 13 or 14 first semester students return for second semester. So our total service of students for the year was 65. We did serve, I broke it down by grade level between first semester and second semester. Pretty comparable numbers overall. There were more seniors the first semester than second semester. One big difference was in first semester, we had 13 students who only went for part of the day. They either were half-day students or they took a JRTC class for their vocational or the math and came to us part-day. The second semester, there were 26 students who did that. That does kind of create a logistic nightmare with transportation. We ran into some of those issues getting kids back and forth because there was much more movement. So even with that said, I felt like we know where we can improve on making sure everybody gets everything that they need for second next year. All-day students were 22, makes it nice and clean, and only 7 all-day students. We did have some evening students. Most of them were middle school at first semester, but then second semester we picked up some seniors who were trying to finish up some classes, you know, those last-minute go-getters, got to get it in for graduation. We had no home-based students first semester, but 2 that were, for discipline reasons, are home-based. They work on their Plato curriculum at home, and I communicate with them either by phone or by email and monitor their progress if they have any questions. So I do monitor them, but I don't serve them directly. We had 1 student drop out first semester and none second semester. Another issue where you can see a disparity is between the discipline placements. We only had 2 discipline placements first semester, and that jumped to 11. So made for a little bit more of a challenge second semester, but we made some adjustments and were able to get everybody on board. And the voluntary placements are your remaining data. Course data, there are some differences, but overall, things went pretty well with students coming in, signing up for classes, and completing them. First semester, 124 overall courses were attempted by the students, and 59 were completed. There are no courses in progress remaining from first semester. There were 11 dropped courses first semester, but that was due to students who were moved to homeschool. They started with Turning Point, but then they decided to be homeschooled, so they each had 4 classes, and then we had another student who just dropped out completely, transferred out, came back in, and then left again. So sometimes you have that. Second semester, we had not as many course attempts, But we had more course completions, and right now, currently, there are 94 of the 106 courses completed. We have 11 students still working, trying to finish up the last couple assignments. I fully expect that to be 100% by Thursday. There may be one. There's always that one holdout. He may have to finish in summer school. I hope not, because he's wanting to graduate, so we're kind of pushing him this week. But the goal would be to have 100% completion for all of the coursework this semester. We have one student this semester who is graduating with an advanced diploma. We had one student finish first semester with a standard, and 10 that are graduating with a standard this semester. We had one student first semester finish at the first semester with an applied studies diploma, and 2 this semester. We have 2 completed their GED first semester. We have 2 completed their GED this semester, and we have 2 in progress. They're not quite finished. They may need another semester to finish. One may finish during the summer. I don't have my magic crystal ball out, so I don't know for sure if that's going to happen. He may be back in the fall. The test data, which is what everybody wants to look at and is a concern. If you look at the numbers and reading and across the board, they're pretty comparable. Like second semester may have been a little higher in some areas, whereas first semester would have been higher in other areas. Obviously, we have to address that issue with dealing with some of the math is a big concern up there. We don't have an instructor out there that's got a really strong math background. And so we're looking at and meeting and discussing the things that we can try to do just a little bit better and a little bit different. Now that we have had a year to come together, try to put a program together, kind of see what's working, find out where the weak spots are, do some fine tuning next year. I think it'll be a benefit because I'll be able to start at the beginning of the year and start implementing some other things. All of our seniors are graduating. That's important, all of them. That one holdout might have a class this summer, but he's going to finish. So I feel very, very good about that. I do have one senior who is still fighting for an SOL. That's her only holdout, and we're hoping we will get that taken care of by the end of this week as well.
If I could add something, the piece that's missing from the data is the personalization and making each student important in the turning point program, which is what Ms. Hobbs and Ms. West and the staff that she's working with up there. And by making those personal efforts to get to know students, to work with them through their trials and tribulations as they're going through young adulthood, has really made the difference of the number of kids, students you can see that have been part of the program since the beginning of the year, and particularly how second semester has been better. That's an ingredient that's hard to measure, but it's not with a lot of effort, with a lot of evening work, weekend work, to work with these students to get them through so they can be successful. And I want to thank Ms. Hobbs and Ms. West for the hard work they've done to establish the program. Thank you.
A question on dropouts. One dropout?
One dropout first semester was a student who came here and then he transferred out and then he came back and then he disappeared after he turned 18 and we're not sure if he went back to Florida or what have you, so he took the hit on that one.
What was our dropout rate being prior? That's taken to school or so?
I'd have to go back and look at last year, if we kept that data or not.
I know there's a lot of positive comments that came out of Turning Point.
Well, what you see is the data, and like what Mr. Katalka says, you don't see my students. My students are a plethora of challenges. I have had students who were ready to quit. I mean, they were done. They were cooked. And my job coming in the middle of the year was to help hook them back in, find a way to get their education. I mean, I've had students just flat out tell me, I'm just going to sit here until I'm 18, drop out. I said, no, we're not doing that. So we met with the parents, gave them some time, and I saw changes. I saw negativity and depression sitting in on kids. So I would call parents in, and I gotta say, I've had a very, very good success with parents that come in. I ask them to come in, they come in, they follow up. They trust that we care about what's best for their child. It was a hard sell, but she did agree to let me do the GED with him, and he, right like that, right out of the gate, first time, done. Totally different child now, and he's looking forward to getting a job. Told Mom, when education becomes important to him, he will come back, he will have the skills, and he will further his education. Been doing this a long time, and I know, I can see that this boy is going to get tired of being the helper, and he's going to want the mechanic pay, not the mechanic helper pay, and he's going to know that he needs that education to do it. I'd rather take a GED than a dropout any day. So some kids, school's not their thing, but if we can finish their education and they have the skills to take with them, they may finish it later. I was one of those, so I can speak firsthand knowledge from that. Is there anything else you want to ask about that I may not have covered?
Actually, I do have a question. So
Okay.
do you want to go first?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. West, for all you do, and I mean, it's an awesome program. I wanted to ask you about the home-based students. You said that Plato, 2 of your students are served at home, but you said you do not serve them directly. Who serves them directly?
We don't provide any kind of direct service for them. They have their Plato program on their computers at home, and they access it, and they're to work on it at home. If they run into a situation where they need a certain test unlocked, or they don't understand something, they call me or they email me, and I kind of walk them through it. We were able to work through the division and find somebody who was a family member who was also a teacher for one of them. The other one is kind of floundering and not finishing all of their courses, but those are discipline placements, and they're not allowed on the campus, and I don't know how else to communicate with them except through email and by phone. So
you do have direct contact with
Yes.
them through email and to mentor them that way.
I do.
Okay.
Keep them encouraged.
I do have another question. You said our instructors aren't as strong in math as you would like. Do you have any idea what we're doing to correct that?
Yes, we have a